Right now at 6, a Portland firefighter in court accused of posting child sex abuse material.
They are not the people like what happened here who are supposed to be doing the abusing. I mean, nobody's supposed to do that.
Why experts say this case is particularly concerning. Plus, a verdict in the shooting outside a Portland Islamic school. What a jury decided in the drop-off confrontation between two dads. Then,
I was horrified. I really was.
Cannon Beach residents are calling for accountability after an elk was shot and killed. And later, the Blazers are on the court for Game 2 of their playoff run against the Spurs.
But straight to our top story here at 6, that Portland firefighter accused of uploading and distributing child abuse material pleaded not guilty in court this morning. Let's get right to our Celine Stevens live outside the courthouse with more on what led up to all of this. Celine.
Christine, so this all started coming to light last summer. That's when that firefighter, Andrew Ligatich, was placed on paid administrative leave last July. But now, as of last week, he's on unpaid leave and in custody after turning himself in on Monday.
Whether it's child sexual abuse, physical abuse, any type of child maltreatment, like any other type of violence, it's all about power.
Andrew Ligatich pled not guilty Tuesday morning in court after turning himself in to authorities Monday. Ligatich, a firefighter with Portland Fire and Rescue, is accused of uploading and distributing child sexual abuse material. Ashley Vaughn, an attorney with Dumas and Vaughn law firm, says firefighters are mandatory child abuse reporters, making this even more disturbing.
They are not the people like what happened here who are supposed to be doing the abusing. I mean, nobody's supposed to do that, but I think it's particularly concerning when somebody in one of these roles is involved in something like this.
She says, unfortunately, this isn't rare.
Most of the cases I handle involve people in roles like that of a firefighter. We've had cases involving law enforcement officers, countless cases involving Boy Scout leaders and Catholic priests.
According to Portland police, the investigation was initiated by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. At the end of August 2025, PPB's Internet Crimes Against Children unit reviewed a report from an online platform about illegal content uploads. Investigators traced the IP activity to a Portland fire station where the material was uploaded and identified Ligatich.
And it should be a safe place where families can take their children to engage in fun events and learn about quote-unquote community helpers. It should not be a place where something as horrifying like this happens.
Child abuse prevention advocates say it's important to notice changes in your children's behavior and know who they are spending time with online and in real life.
But sometimes there are no signs. There is no automatic playbook on what always to look for. But what I encourage people is what's different? What's different about how the child in your life is acting?
Portland Fire and Rescue says Ligatich was put on paid leave last summer and moved to unpaid leave last week after being indicted. So Ligatich is charged with 3 counts of encouraging child sex abuse in the first degree and 2 counts of using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct. He will appear in court again tomorrow. Christine?
Celine Stevens reporting downtown. Thank you, Celine. And a reminder, if you or someone you know is a survivor of sexual assault, help is available 24/7. You can always call the number on your screen. It is the National Sexual Assault Hotline. That number is 1-800-656-4673. In your headlines, a jury has found a dad who shot another dad outside the Islamic School of Portland is guilty on all charges. The case dates back to October of 2024. Security video of the incident shows Nuruddin Dib approaching the other father and having a short conversation before Dib pulled out a gun and shot twice.
This is a deeply troubling act of violence in a place where families should feel safe. Our community deserves better, and this outcome reflects this office's commitment to holding individuals accountable when they have shattered the safety that this community deserves.
Dib was charged with attempted murder among other counts. Dib's attorneys argued the two had a prior history, and Dib feared for his safety in the moment and acted in self-defense. Dib will be sentenced in early May. In Beaverton, at least 11 people don't have a place to stay after a fire burned through their apartment building early this morning. Fire officials say they got the call around 2:20 a.m. and found the fire had spread to 5 units. They were able to get the fire under control and within the hour and report everyone, including pets, got out safely. Investigators are now working to figure out what started it. To Washington now, where new video from the Pierce County Sheriff's Office shows a dangerous high-speed chase where the passenger of a stolen car started throwing stuff out the window. Take a look. It's hard to make out, but that thing highlighted in this video is actually a chainsaw thrown at the squad car. Deputies spotted the vehicle minutes after it was reported stolen Sunday, leading to a chase down I-5. The car ended up going off-road near Joint Base Lewis McChord, where the 2 men apparently ran away. A canine team was called in to help make the arrest.
Hey, you see him? Get that guy, Debo! Hands up, hands. Show us your hands. Hey, crawl out slowly, man. Crawl out slowly. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands where we can see him. Crawl out slowly. Somebody got hands? Let's go. Yep, hey, hurry up, we're on the same hands up. Slowly. Let's go. Attaboy, Debo. What's that guy?
The passenger needed treatment for a dog bite. He and the driver are facing multiple charges. President Trump is extending the ceasefire deadline with Iran, he says, at Pakistan's request. The announcement came as peace talks between the two countries looked uncertain. The White House put Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Pakistan on hold, at least for the time being, after reports that Iran would not commit to returning for negotiations. Both countries have warned that without a deal, they are prepared to resume fighting. And on the jobs front, new data from Oregon's employment department show unemployment largely stayed steady from January to February. The statewide unemployment rate in February was 5.2, the same as January, but still higher than February of 2025, when the unemployment rate then was 4.9. Officials in Washington, meantime, estimate the state's unemployment rate ticked up between January and February from 5% to 5.1%. That's 0.7% higher than February of 2025. The national unemployment rate is sitting at 4.4%. Matt?
All right, Christine, thank you. It was a very wet morning, but things have dried out a bit. The clouds haven't completely cleared, of course, but the rain has stopped for the most part. You see the clouds are breaking up out in Washington County. Our Explorer Tualatin Valley Skycam 57 degrees out at the Reserve Golf Course, and some blue skies showing up off the coast. This is our Lincoln City Skycam 57 degrees there as well. So yes, after a wet morning, it's drying out. There's still a line of showers, some very light rain, more like drizzle, over the north part of Portland and Multnomah County, southern part of Clark County there. But this should end as we go through the next several hours. It's kind of contracting. Now, some heavy rain out by Hermiston and Pendleton. We've had some thunderstorms out there, but again, those are beginning to die down too. And we had some heavy rain in the southern Oregon Cascades, about 3/4 of an inch, down around Crater Lake. So some places got some pretty decent rainfall. Other places not as much. And Portland did well. We had 3/10 of an inch here. Tomorrow we will have rain in the morning. Expect another morning commute that's going to be on the wet side, but the sun comes out in the afternoon. I'll let you know what happens after that in a bit, Christine.
Sounds good. Thank you, Matt. In continuing coverage tonight, Portland police have now recovered the car that crashed into the Willamette River, killing 3 people from the Beaver Creek area. Joe Ranieri joins us now live along the waterfront with an update. Joe.
Christine, it's still unclear why the driver of that car sped away from Portland police in the early morning hours of April 6th, driving through parts of downtown Portland and through the waterfront park area, eventually hitting one of those metal fences and plunging into the river. 3 people died, but 1 teenager survived. For 2 weeks now, one of the key pieces of evidence in a crash that left 3 dead was sitting in 30 feet of murky water in the Willamette.
It's pretty technical. The conditions in the Willamette right now are not ideal, obviously. Very low visibility, but we were able to get down there, get the job done.
This white Toyota Corolla has been in the river since the early morning hours of April 6th. Portland police say officers saw the car speeding through downtown Portland, running red lights and traveling in the wrong direction. When an officer tried pulling the car over, it took off and drove through this metal fence along Waterfront Park and into the river.
30 feet to the top of the vehicle, so around the vehicle can get up to about 40 feet.
3 people died in the crash, including 20-year-old Jacob Esperum, 19-year-old Roberto Garcia Chavez, and 17-year-old Trent Badillo. Another 17-year-old survived the crash. Doug Bishop was part of the recovery a couple of weeks ago and was one of the divers who helped pull the car out on Tuesday.
Rigging underwater in challenging environments, which underwater is one of the most challenging environments you can do it in.
Despite the poor visibility in the river, it didn't take Bishop long to get everything hooked up.
I have to make sure I have enough cribbing to not irritate the ground or sink.
With the help of a crane that lifted out the main piece,
it probably took in the water about 12 minutes tops once I was underwater rigging.
Of evidence that's been missing for police. Now, earlier today, this section of Waterfront Park was shut off. Portland Police Bureau, as well as Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, was just part of the team that was kind of working on helping to get this car out of the river. It took them about 2 hours to get everything set up, and in just a matter of minutes, it was taken out of the water. Christine, back to you.
Appreciate the update. Joe Ranieri reporting live from Waterfront Park. Thank you, Joe.